got an iPad to hold his iPad.
Whatever, alright.
Move over here. I think you're sitting in front of the fucking.
Who are we sponsored by?
Damn, sponsored by.
What's going on? In the past, I got it.
Yeah.
Alright. What the fuck's up, seat sniffers? Me and Matt back at it again. Another video. What week is it, Matty?
This week 10 recap.
Week 10 recap, week 11 rankings. This video is sponsored by the University of Virginia. Because the motherfuckers got rocked. Alright, let's get into the rankings. Alright.
I was not ready for that.
Alright. First up, we got the Chuckster.
Chuckster, the new number one.
New number one, knocked off Matty.
Mm-hmm.
You know how that goes.
You beat number one, you beat number one.
Yeah. He's tied for the best record with Josh. He's
up in the top 3 in points.
Yeah,
he's ahead of Josh. So that's what put him at number one.
He's up there in points forward, and he has 2 fucking top tier quarterbacks and can trade one to get more assets. His team's already really good. Good record. He's gonna make the playoffs. He's fighting for that bye now.
Yeah. Well, he definitely has a good chance of getting that bye after beating me because I was the one who was competing with him. Next up, we got Josh. Second, he's tied for the best record. He has no holes in his starting lineup, and he's got that Jalen Hurts and that AJ Brown stack, which didn't do him much help last week, but it didn't matter. He still pulled out a win. We'll talk about AJ Brown a little bit later in the video, but yeah, no, Josh, team with no holes, and he's just pushing ahead for playoffs. He's got that number 1 seed locked up right now. Number 3, one of the biggest rises in the last couple weeks, we got Austin.
Yep, he was my dark horse team. Not really dark horse anymore because of fucking Aiden,
Yeah.
But best team in my opinion. Only hole isn't even really a hole with it. Yeah, it is because it's Kirk Cousins. But he stacks with Jay Jettis, who's probably.
He's just waiting on Deshaun Watson to come back, so we'll see. He could have a decent
playoff
quarterback. Or he could just go out and get Justin Fields if he wanted to.
Yeah, that's true. But no, yeah, Austin's got the best team pretty much. He's got 2 great receivers. He's got 2 really good running backs. And now he's 6-4, so he should be up here because now he's probably going to make the playoffs.
Yeah. He's going to fuck somebody up in the playoffs probably. Yeah, and number 4 is me. I dropped a whole 3 spots. You know what? It was bound to happen. And I'd like to take some time to formally apologize to Mike Williams. And I would like to tell you guys this is why you don't laugh when players get injured, because then your player gets the same exact injury but closer to playoffs. And I probably won't learn from this lesson, and I'll probably do it again next season. Yeah. But it happens every time. You laugh at the player that goes down, and then your player goes down too. So just keep it in mind when you guys are laughing when somebody gets hurt.
Right after Matt laughed at Mike Williams, Debo hurt his hammy. Kyler's hurt, but Modern Warfare 2 came out.
Yeah.
And now Cooper Kupp's out a month. So, you got to watch what you do. The fantasy gods are unforgiving.
And let's make it clear. I didn't laugh at Mike Williams. Brendan was there. I laughed for 10 minutes.
You would have.
And I wasn't even playing against Mike Williams. So I don't know why I laughed. I just found it hilarious. And that's just what happens, bro. Modern Warfare drops next week, and Kyler Murray decides to not play football anymore. But number 5 on the list, who's probably got a better team than me, but not a better record, we got Drew. And Drew's team is just kind of waiting for Jamar, but he's got McCaffrey, and McCaffrey, even though he didn't really do that great this past week with Elijah Mitchell coming back, is still ranked as the number 2 running back Ramondre Stevenson is like, he's doing his thing, 21. And, he's still got Tyreek Hill, who is like the number one
receiver in fantasy and football. He's fucking dog. And he still is waiting on Jamar to come back.
Yeah, and he's got DK as a solid flex. So Drew's team all around, very solid. Ready for the playoffs.
We are a little worried about Cordell, though, who we'll talk about.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, if everybody's playing, Drew doesn't have to worry about Cordell. Anyway, number 6, got CAC.
Now we got
sitting at 6 for like ever. I feel
like. Mr. Coach,
Mr.
the most mid team ever. He could have been higher. Like I think he was around the 4 range for a little while before he traded Chris Godwin. But like we saw this week, Chris Godwin had a good week. I don't even remember if Coach fucking won or not, but Chris Godwin's just better than whoever he probably could have been starting. Like, I really like Devontae Smith, and Terry's good too, but I would just rather have Chris Godwin than those guys, in my opinion. And, yeah, Coach has a ton of depth, but he doesn't know how to trade. So we'll see how that goes. He lost Zach Ertz, so we'll talk about in a little bit. But just super mid-team, probably make the playoffs, so with the last seed and get knocked down in the first round. But, nice.
Hey, man. Somebody's got to be that team.
Yep.
Yeah, another team that could be that team. We got Alex at number 7, who's got another very mid team with a very mid record, coming in with a very mid quarterback and a very mid RB2. He's got some other players that are doing pretty good. Like, he's got Dalvin Cook, who ripped like an 80-yard run or whatever the fuck. Devontae Adams, who's still like a top 3 receiver in the NFL, just in terms of being a good receiver. Travis Kelce. His team's all right. Like, he got Chris Olave. His wide receiver's all right. He just traded me Jacoby Myers for, like,
you're
not
a retard.
much.
Oh, I forgot trades of the week.
Fuck that.
You can talk about it.
Yeah. Alex team kind of mid. Needs a quarterback. Chuck, you should probably try to trade him Justin Fields. Yeah, so number 8, we got Nate.
All right.
Coming in.
Nate had one good season in fantasy football, and it was last year. He's back to being what we all know him to be, which is like a mid to lower end team. And he's doing all this with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. I think it kind of shows how mid he is as a fantasy owner. It's not completely his fault. Like, he's got okay players. Like, we like Dameon Pierce. He's just on a bad offense that won't score a lot of touchdowns. So as good as he fucking is, he can only do so much because it's not like they're throwing him the ball a ton either. DeAndre Swift just won't be healthy really rest of the year. So that's kind of what's holding him back. And the fact that Cortland Sutton would be doing better with Geno Smith as his quarterback right now. But yeah, Nate's 4-6. I think he could squeak into the playoffs. Probably won't. I don't think anyone who is in the playoffs has to worry about him either. Yeah. Next, we have Zach Mann.
Yeah, talk about need a win. It's Zach right here, and he's sitting at 3-5, I think.
No, he's 4-6.
4-6. He's sitting at 4-6. He's going up against Coates, and this is gonna be a telling week for the Zach man for his season. And overall, I mean, his team's solid, and Kenneth Walker's on a bye this week, so he's going to be missing Kenneth Walker. He's starting Brandon Cooks, who's coming off an injury. So it's going to be interesting to see a Zach versus Zach matchup this week. And yeah, talk about need a win. It's Team Zach right now.
All right, I'm at 10. I might get Marquise back this week, which is fucking awesome. He probably won't be 100%, so I still might not start him, but it's just cool to have him back and have me projected over 100 points again. As long as my team can somewhat get back healthy, like Zeke can play, Mark Andrews can play, and Marquise will be back next week, I think I still have a shot at this thing. Is it a high one? Probably no, if I were to be honest. But, I'm here. I'm competing. I'm not going to give up yet until the fat lady sings. Fucking Kadarius Toney. He was faking his fucking hamstring injury, making fun of the Giants. But you know what? I'm just happy that he's playing football and he's not fucking faking an injury anymore. And I can actually use him on my fantasy squad because I think he's really talented. And with Patty Mahomes and all the receivers going down too, who knows? Who knows? He could be a guy for me. But yeah, if anyone also wants the fucking Broncos running back duo, you fucking call me
Hit him
up.
up.
Yeah. All right. Next we have Captain Dick Cheese.
Yeah. No, I won't waste too much time with the last two. So yeah, Aiden
I won't
traded.
talk about the last one.
Okay, I got you. Aiden traded his team away, and he's done. He's probably a week away from being eliminated from the playoffs. It was a good run, Aiden. You can only do so many things when Breece Hall gets hurt, and you trade away Justin Jefferson for like donuts and Skittles. Yeah, that's about it. Number 12.
All right. I want everyone, pray for Meech because, like we said, Meech never had a shot in this thing. His team's dog shit. He's a loser, just like the Phillies. He was just, I don't know. Maybe some people are just born this way. Some people are born to lose. I think Demetrius might be one of those people. He only has 2 wins. It could be the fact that he just doesn't understand the game of football. I don't know if he just doesn't comprehend what's going on the television. I know he likes to get really, loud and angry and kind of, it makes people think he, understands what he's saying. But really, I think he's just trying to copy all the other jack-off Eagles fans in being loud and obnoxious and making people think that he actually knows what he's talking about when he doesn't. And
He's blending in.
Yeah, and I think he showed with this early exit this year after only 9-10 weeks. There's still fucking half a fucking season left, and Meech is out of it already. I can't say I didn't expect this, I think we all saw it coming. It is what it is. Thanks for the free $100 in the pot, Demetrius. All right, now we're moving on.
Yeah, we'll just move on to studs of the week, and this is gonna be interesting. So we're gonna talk about one of Chuck's players here. We're gonna talk about
a lot of.
We're gonna
Chuck's
talk
players.
about Justin Fields. All right.
All right.
So Brendan, let's talk about Justin Fields here.
Okay, Justin Fields, I actually have in the other league, so I have been watching him play a lot, and this looks like rookie Lamar Jackson. He's just very impressive. They finally opened up the offense for him so that he can move his legs a little bit. He's RB1 in Chicago, and he's the whole offense in Chicago. He's been making explosive plays. I'm really impressed. He's fucking fast. He's elusive. And he's going to score fantasy points because he fucking runs all over the yard. His schedule does get a little harder later on. So, I'm not sure on his outlook rest of season. I still think he'll be good and have a high floor. But I don't think you can expect these fucking huge explosive weeks these past couple ones, But, yeah, Justin Fields, a dog. Good in fantasy now.
Yeah, so for my quarterback, we're going to talk about one of Chuck's players, actually. And, yeah, I got dogged. And regardless of who Chuck may have decided to start at quarterback, I would have gotten dogged because he started the one that scored less points. But that one still scored 31 points. What the fuck? I mean, all right, so, let's just say that the beginning of the season, I was too low on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he's number one.
He's number one, and let's just, from now on, Patrick Mahomes is good in fantasy football, and that's just bottom line. But kudos to you, Chuck, for having the 2 best fantasy quarterbacks this past week. If this was a super flex league, I would have been fucked in the asshole.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it's not a super flex league because I just couldn't handle that emotional pain. Yeah, but we're going to move on to the running backs. And we probably could have talked about more players from Chuck's team, but we decided not to for the running backs. So, Brendan, you picked Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
Why'd you like Tony so much?
I like Tony Pollard because I think every week Zeke is not starting, Tony Pollard should be a top 5 start. It doesn't really matter who he's playing. Yeah, it's just that they only carry or use 2 running backs. So when Zeke's gone, he's a full workhorse in a good offense, and he's an explosive playmaker. He'll always get good points. Touchdowns might not always be there, but he could also explode on any given week, and he's given enough touches. I really like Tony Pollard if Zeke isn't to play again this next week, but, hopefully he does because I'm a Zeke owner. Also, Jerry Jones just will not ever give Tony Pollard the backfield, even though he's obviously better.
Mad racist.
Yeah, I think Zeke's darker, but I think it's more that Jerry Jones is just a stubborn old man, and he gave an old running back a lot of fucking money, and that's on him. And so he's going to be stubborn and use him until he dies out. Yeah. That's all.
So my running back of the week was Hefe Wilson, giving a big resurgence to his fantasy football season. Honestly, is playing better on Miami than he ever was for me on San Francisco. Good for him. I'm sorry, Alex, that is your situation right now because you really mortgaged your team on Raheem Mostert being that boy. But yeah, he went over 20. He had 23 or some shit fantasy points for Team Josh.
Yep.
And
over 100 yards.
Over 100 yards on 17 carries. If I'm Raheem Mostert, I'd be kind of pissed off. I'm not going to lie.
Well, they both had a good week, but I do think it will be a split share going forward.
Yeah.
But they're both good, so it's kind of tough, but any given week for each of them. All right.
Next up.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Christian Watson. 3 touchdowns isn't going to happen all the fucking time, but
especially on the Packers.
Yeah, a game like this is something that kind of makes you stick out, I feel like, to Aaron Rodgers. With Romeo Doubs still being hurt, kind of, not a lot of people on the offense stepping up. Lazard's a decent receiver, but he's obviously not like a target hog number 1 receiver like how the Devontae Adams was or any other elite receivers. So I'm not saying Christian Watson can be that, but I could see Aaron Rodgers wanting to feed him the ball more to see what he has. So I really like Christian Watson going forward. Don't think he'll be very consistent, but I think he could be a very high upside start week to week because they like using him in the red zone too on the little end arounders.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about one of Chuck's players. CeeDee Lamb took a big old duke on my fucking head, along with a lot of other players from Chuck's team. But yeah, so 15 targets, 11 catches, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns for a measly 38 fantasy points.
I think this is what we expected with that early on in the season.
Honestly...
Not 38 points, but this consistency.
CeeDee wasn't even bad without Dak, and I guess Cooper Rush is just...
He's a above average
backup quarterback. Yeah. So, yeah, CeeDee Lamb is putting up the numbers you'd want where you drafted him. And, yeah, he just took a big old shit on my face, along with a lot of Chuck's players. So, Brendan's stud of the week, Tyler Higbee.
All right, T. Higga, my wigga, he is, I think with the Cooper Kupp injury, Tyler Higbee's going to go back to getting a high target share. He's getting healthier.
Has to.
Yeah, he's going to take the slot role a little bit and get those check downs where that Cooper Kupp usually gets. And for the next month or so or however long, I think Tyler Higbee will be a high floor player, mainly because of the Cooper Kupp injury. But he had a good week anyways without Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp went out in the 4th quarter or whatever. And yeah, I think people in the offense are going to have to step up. Even though it's not going to be a very good offense, I could see them trailing in most of these games. So they're going to have to throw to someone. So I think that could be Tyler Higbee. All right.
So I'm going to talk about one of Chuck's players. Dalton Schultz, another player that took another shit on me. I was like, going into the Dallas game, I was like, I don't know. I mean, I need some things to happen, but who knows? Maybe they'll happen. And it was clear very early that those things were not going to happen because the first 2 touchdowns were to Dalton Schultz and CeeDee Lamb. And he finished the week out with 17 points. So Chuck has been dominating the studs of the week this week, if you didn't notice, by the fact that we said Chuck's name 4 times. So, yeah, I guess Chuck has the Cowboys. Good for him. Duds of the week, though.
All right, I just want to keep talking about Russell Wilson, how much of a fucking goofball this motherfucker is, you know?
He's Amish as
like,
fuck.
He just does the stupidest shit. He's just not good anymore. I think he showed that he didn't add anything to Seattle. Like, fucking Gino is a dog over there. Like, Russell and the Broncos are just the biggest disappointments this season, in my opinion. That team was just supposed to be so good, and Russell Wilson has done nothing. He's been a negative to the team. The defense is the only thing that keeps them in games.
The Seattle Seahawks is like what we dreamed of the Broncos to look like this year.
Yeah, with
which
2
is,
good
like,
receivers,
hilarious.
like Cortland Sutton being DK,
An RB1.
Judy being whatchamacallit, the Lockett, and yeah.
Kenneth Walker being Javonte Williams.
Well, that wasn't Javante's fault, but whatever.
Sure.
He got hurt. But yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. They're like the offense that the Broncos should have had.
Yeah.
And we were all fading the Seahawks because they were supposed to suck.
But I just wanted to mention Russell Wilson again because I honestly think, I think he has a okay matchup this week versus Vegas. But realistically, if he were to get dropped, I don't think anyone would pick him up to start him. Like, maybe
I'd start him this week.
Maybe, but I would literally rather start Jimmy G. Like, I just don't see any point.
I might start Jimmy.
I'm just not a big fan of Russell Wilson the rest of the year. I don't think he has a very high ceiling most of these games. He could always dud out.
Future's still banging his wife.
Yeah. Wait. Is he?
He said it in a song. Anyway, so yeah, my dud of the week is Justin Herbert, and he put up like 12 points again 2 weeks in a row. Still just dealing with wide receivers and shit. I'm not even gonna lie, I worked this Sunday, so I didn't even watch the game, and there just wasn't a lot of quarterbacks that did ass.
He's just been a shitbag, man. The Chargers are a little disappointing too. It's more because of injuries though, but I don't know. Herbert's still. I guess he's still dealing with that rib thing because he's too talented. There's no reason that they should be this bad. I know they don't have many people to throw to, but like, fuck, you know?
Yeah, was not a good pick for the second quarterback spot.
Right.
It's a good thing Nate traded him for Josh Allen.
Yeah. Next, running back, I have Cordell. I really expected. I don't know. I think Atlanta's winning games, but they're doing it wrong. I don't even know
without their fantasy players.
Yeah, without their most talented players. I don't understand how. I mean, I like Algier maybe for the future. He could be a decent power back. Who the fuck is Tyler Huntley? Who the fuck is that? I don't know why he's getting so many carries, and he's getting more than Cordell Patterson, who's obviously better than him. I'm just saying, Kyle Pitts doesn't get the ball enough. You know, that Cordell Patterson's probably the second most talented in the offense, and he just had 5 fucking carries this past game, and they lost. I don't think they make any fucking sense, Atlanta. I don't think you can trust any fucking players in that offense. I don't even know. Atlanta just sucks. I fucking hate Atlanta. Whatever.
Yeah, my running back dud of the week is another NFC South running back, Alvin Kamara, who just been hot and cold this year.
Yeah, he's going to have games like this every once in a while. That's what Alvin Kamara does. He has these 5 to 8 point weeks, and then he fucking goes off for 40 the next one. It doesn't really fucking matter, you know?
Yeah, there's been a lot of games where there hasn't been a lot of workload for him. He'll be under 10 rushes and then, under 3 receptions. And, very shaky RB1. Probably, a high-end RB2 for most weeks. But anyway, duds, DJ Moore, bringing his name back up.
Yeah, we're back to the DJ Moore slander. It was fun while it lasted, the couple good weeks. Aiden was fucking jerking off while watching him fucking score touchdowns for 1 week. But He's so good, but it doesn't fucking matter. He's got a bunch of dickheads throwing him the ball that don't really know how to play quarterback. Like PJ Walker for the few weeks was like, oh yeah, fun. PJ Walker's decent. He just came from like the fucking Canadian Football League or something, or Arena Football League. Like he's just not an elite quarterback. And until the Panthers find an elite quarterback to throw to DJ Moore, or at least someone who can consistently get him catchable balls like Taylor Heineke does with Terry McLaurin, I don't think DJ Moore will be very good in fantasy. He'll be a player where he needs a touchdown to really do anything for you. That's all. It is what it is. On the next.
Yeah, so this is just not a good week for Philly, but A.J. Brown is my dud of the week, and he just clearly had the worst week for any wide receiver that didn't go out during the game. And I know he's dealing with like an ankle injury, but I'm pretty sure
He left the game and came back.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, I was working on Sunday, but it's 4 receptions. The Eagles got shitted on, and he didn't score any fantasy points.
Yep.
Very mild take. A.J. Brown.
All right. Next, we got the Kittle monster. He's just going to do this type stuff. You know, some games...
He's going to block.
Yeah, when they're running more, like Elijah Mitchell had like 16 fucking carries, 17 carries. And they're like... the run game's working. There's no need for Jimmy G to throw the ball around the field. Even though they have the playmakers, that's just not how the Shanahan offense runs. They'd rather run the ball. They have 3 different running backs to run the ball with, who are all elite, with McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell, and Debo. Yeah, he's just going to have these games. You hope he can get into the end zone, or the Niners can be down so that they have to throw, but this is just what it is, owning Kittle. He's not a target hog.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to take a brief moment to talk to you, and you only, Robert Tonyan. Stop being trash. I know the Packers suck. I know Christian Watson stole all 3 touchdowns because I know you wanted them really badly. But I need fantasy points, and I want to make the playoffs, and I wanted to be the number 1 seed. I don't think that's going to happen anymore, and that's due in part to you. And I would like to say, I was such a big Robert Tonyan fan coming into the year.
Yeah.
And he's been nothing but a piece of shit.
Kinda, yeah.
He's been kind of a piece of shit. I don't know if I'm ever going to go back on you, Tonyan. I don't know if I can just be like, I'm a Robert Tonyan fan. You're kind of a bitch.
Matty's must-watch matchups.
Yeah, so we got 2 matchups worth watching this week. And like I said earlier, we got some Zach-on-Zach crimes coming. This is going to be a big week for them because Zach is 6-4 and Zach is 4-6. So we're going to want to... This is going to be a big week for Zach because he's going to be trying to, make the playoffs. And for Zach, he's going to be trying to secure a good seed in the playoffs. So I just hope that Zach wins. And next, we have Austin versus Alex. And this is another matchup that will have a lot to do with seeding in the playoffs, maybe. I mean, Alex is projected to win right now. Austin is dealing with some buys. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, we just got to wait and see. This is gonna be one of those matchups that could have a lot to do with how things go down in the playoffs. So, yeah, keep an eye on Zach and Austin and Alex.
All right, let's get into the injuries.
Woo! First one.
Cooper Kupp out for a month.
Out for a month.
Like we said, Matt did it to him.
I did it to him. It was my fault.
He started laughing about Mike Williams. Yeah. High ankle sprain. Could be out.
Learn from my mistakes because I don't do that.
Yeah. Could be out longer than 4 weeks. We'll see.
The best case scenario for me is that he makes it back the first week of playoffs.
Yeah, because
he's going to miss the rest of the regular season.
You don't want him to rush back in 2 or 3 weeks and not be 100%.
I want him to be back the first week of the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, next we got Kyler, who's,
he's playing a lot of COD, bro. Whatever.
It's what it is.
That's just the time of the year. I'm just going to have to deal with my quarterback grinding.
Yeah, but he's iffy for this week.
It's kind of like a hammy issue. Or some
I'm not
shit.
sure he'll play, but I think he'll be back by next week.
He's got 2 weeks to play COD.
Yeah, AJ Brown's dealing with an ankle thing. I think he'll be fine. He'll play through it.
Mm-hmm.
He might not be
projected to play through.
Yeah, he might not be 100%, but is what it is. They got the pieces to fill in around him, and Josh doesn't really need the W's. Like, he's in the playoffs anyways. Next we have Zach Ertz. I think he'll he'll be out for at least a month. He fucked up his knee or something. Doesn't look too good. Fuck you, coach. All right. Next we got Juju. Juju got knocked out clean on the field. He got concussed.
You got AB.
Yeah, you know with these new protocols,
The Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll probably be out a week if I had to guess, but
No speds on the field.
if not, I don't see him like being super involved anyways. I don't think they're gonna want to overwork him.
Yeah, they got Kadarius Toney now. I don't need Juju.
Yeah, and all right. Next we have Judy. I think he twisted his ankle. It looks kind of bad.
He got carded.
Yeah, it could be an Achilles injury. Like we'll see the updates, but I think there's a chance he could miss the rest of the year, which would kind of be shitty.
Well, luckily for all of us, he's on Aiden's team, so he's not going to be in the playoffs anyway.
Yeah, who cares? All right, Goddard is on the IR with a shoulder thing. Probably going to be out at least 4 weeks. Maybe this is better for the Eagles receivers and other fantasy weapons because that he takes him not being there brings
This is Devontae Smith week.
Yeah, brings more touchdowns and more little check down plays for other fantasy options. I know that they have the fucking dude, whatever his name is, Stoll, who's decent. Maybe he could be a stream now too. Khalil Herbert probably going to be out 3 to 4 weeks.
I would put on the IR.
I would want to say, it's Davey Montgomery season, but Justin Fields is just the RB1 there, and is what it is. You know, Montgomery could always fall into the end zone, get you a few points, but I don't see him getting too many checkdowns anymore with fucking Fields being there because he should just run it instead. But
that looks like that's about it for this week, y'all.
Yeah, man. Kind of a late start to recording to this video.
Yeah, it's like 1 in the morning right now.
So
it's alright.
Sorry if it wasn't our best. You're a little tired.
You guys don't
or
give
whatever.
a fuck anyway. You guys are a bunch of fucking
You guys probably
losers.
didn't even watch to this point. But yeah, fuck you guys. You know, Virginia. Pow, pow, pow. See ya.